Hi, Biz.
Hi, Jared. How are you?
I'm okay. How about you?
Not bad.
Nice job on that flyer for the nursery school. I
Oh, thank you.
thought it was really good. Well done.
Thanks.
I like using Canva, but I am not worthy.
Well, that's just Canva doctored up. So
That's Canva what?
doctored up.
Huh.
Canva plus a little, yeah.
It looks really good. So
Thank
I
you.
was very impressed.
Thanks.
I reached out to Anna and I was like, did you do this? Because this is like the best I've ever seen. She gave you all the credit. So hey Mike, hey Julia.
Hey, Jared.
Hey, Jared.
Did I just get a Jer from Julia? No one's called me Jer
No,
in
I
so
said
long.
Jared. I said Jared. I
No,
didn't.
you
go
could
there.
call me
I
Jer.
did
That's
not
cool.
go
No
there.
one says that anymore. That was used to be like all my friends used to call me Jer.
I'd probably like float that in person if I were gonna try it.
Not yeah, on a
Not
Zoom
on
meeting.
Zoom.
And my nickname in college was PJ. Everybody called me PJ. So you guys call me that too if you want.
All right.
Jared, I'm good to take minutes tonight if you want me to.
I believe it's PJ now, not Jared.
Oh, PJ,
I'm
sorry.
just kidding.
Jer.
Jer. Yeah, no,
I'd like to make
honestly.
a motion.
Yeah, I'm all for that. If you're okay with it, I would definitely like that. Honestly, I haven't even done the minutes from the last meeting, so because there was so much going on in that meeting, I couldn't do the minutes while we were doing the meeting. So I haven't caught up on that yet. So if you want to do that one and then just send it to me when you're done, and I'll touch it up and submit it, that would be great. We could kind of
Okay.
tag team on it.
Great.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
All right, I think we have, or we do have enough to start the meeting. So I'm going to call this regular Park and Rec meeting to order at 7:02 p.m. And at this time, we do not need to elevate any alternates. Jared, did you want to, amend the agenda before?
Yeah. So I don't know like really what to call it, but I think it should be something like discussion of commission members for 2023. I don't know. That sounds
Okay.
good. Yeah.
And should we put that towards the end just in case we have people?
Yeah.
join?
I know Diane wanted to be here for that, but she wasn't sure if her cell phone was going to have service. So I'd say we put it towards the end, and if she's able to get on earlier, we just bump it to when she's on, because I know she said she would be in and out. So
Okay.
yeah.
So could I have a motion to amend the agenda to include a discussion of commission members for 2023 as item, we'll put it between, or as the final item below personnel.
So moved.
Do
Second.
we have a second?
Yep, second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Nope, okay, thank you. And I do not see any members of the public on tonight. So we can move forward to parks and facilities. Jared, if you want to go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to follow up on everything from the past few months and a bunch of bigger purchases that we made to kind of tie it all together. So basically, as you guys know, we've been working really hard to start renovating the ball fields down at Kent Center School, and wanted to start with the big ball field there. It's not used by us for rec purposes, but it's used every day by the kids at school. It's used for the school team, and it's takes up the most kind of area. It's the first thing you see when you're there, from a baseball field standpoint, and it just was in really bad shape. So decided to start there and work our way down. It was also in the worst condition. So as you guys know, we purchased a bunch of clay, a bunch of topsoil, and that turf blanket. And so over the past few months, I've been working on that. Ed of late has been helping me with stuff that I, am not able to do by hand. So he's brought his equipment down, and we rototilled stuff, and we spread clay and seed and fertilizer, the whole nine. And on, I think, Wednesday or Thursday of last week, we put the turf blanket down, and I believe I sent a picture out to everybody. So it covered the entire infield. And basically now it's going to stay down until probably the middle of April. And the theory behind the turf blanket is it's going to create a greenhouse effect. So all winter, the grass will be beginning to grow. By the spring, it'll start to grow really fully, while other grass is still dormant in this area. And then ideally, when we take the blanket off in mid-April, the infield will be lush, full. A lot of the bare spots that we had previously, or the spots with crabgrass that we had previously, in theory should be grown in with good healthy grass. And ideally it will be all set. I'd say we'll have to do some finishing touches in late April, early May, and then that field should be good to go moving forward for a long time. I mean, it'll still need maintenance and everything, but it'll be well on its way to being a really premier ball field. So just want to let you guys know that we took care of all that. And right now it just looks like a big tarp on the field, but I don't know. I'm a nerd, so it excites me. So yeah, just wanted to let everybody know, because we obviously spent a decent amount of money on certain things over the past few months, and I just wanted to tie it all together.
That's awesome. I thought that the picture actually looked great.
Yeah, it made me feel like, oh my gosh, like we're professional.
Yeah, right. It kind of looks like that, right? That's what I thought when I looked at it. It was like, wow, looks like the real deal.
Totally. Thank you, Jared.
Yeah, of course.
All right, on to programs and events. You can go ahead with that, Jared.
Okay, give me 1 second here.
Yeah.
So that is the field with the turf blanket, if you guys see my screen, for whoever didn't see it.
So great.
Just wanted to show everybody. And you guys will see there's 2 different color clays there. So those are the 2, that's the new clay that we mixed in with the old clay. It hasn't been fully mixed in yet, so it looks kind of junky, but in the spring, it'll all be kind of mixed, and it'll be a more consistent color, but that will keep the field from getting super rock hard. And so the kids can actually slide on it or take a ground ball without getting hit in the face at 1,000 miles an hour. So it's, like I said, I get excited about this stuff. But anyway, programs and events, adult open gym basketball. So Ben Brady came to me and said that I guess there used to be an adult open gym program. It was a free program. It was, basically we didn't provide anything, just people who showed up and played, and we just advertised, for them. He came to me about it, said he has a bunch of guys who are interested in bringing it back. I think it's great. Like I said, there's no expense. The gym is free since we do it during the weeks. And Ben, said as a volunteer, he'd just coordinate with, the guys. And if he can't make it, somebody else will. It's just kind of a, like just a crew of people who get together and play. And like I said, we'll advertise on Facebook and email to get the word out. So I'd like to do that on Tuesdays from 7:30 to 9:30 at the gym. My initial conversation with Marcy, the gym is free at that point, but I will just reconfirm that with her before we move forward. But I just wanted to get, approval to do that. It would be co-ed, open to anybody who wants to come. And they would just have to sign a waiver before they can get on the court, which I already discussed that with Ben, and not a problem.
Who would be responsible for closing up at the end of the night?
So he said that basically what they would normally do is they'd clean up all the trash, the guys themselves, and then the custodians would come in like they normally would. Instead of doing it after our basketball program, it's just gonna do it after their program. So,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
and I'm a real stickler on making sure the gym's all cleaned up and everything else. And I was talking to Ben about that, and he's like, no, we're the same way. Everybody's really respectful. So that was music to my ears.
Awesome. Does anybody else have any questions or comments about it?
Sounds good.
Cool.
Yeah, I went once when it was, I guess that was a couple years ago. It was fun. Yeah, it was definitely a good turnout too.
Nice. Yeah. I think it's probably been several years since COVID really. So I think people are probably itching to get back out. Ben, he's obviously well known in the community and whatnot. So he's a good guy, I feel like, to run point on it as well. So
Yeah, that's great. I love having an offering for the adult age group. Or
100%.
demographic, I should say. Okay, could we have a motion to run adult open gym basketball on Tuesdays from 7:30 to 9:30 at the Kent Center School free of charge?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second,
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
aye,
Aye. Any opposed? Nope. Okay, great. Thank you. All right, holiday craft party.
okay. So sorry. So basically, I did this in my previous community. We literally called it the holiday craft party. And basically we had everybody come out to our school's cafeteria, and we basically made a bunch of stations around the cafeteria where kids could go and do different like Christmassy or holiday crafts. They could make an ornament. They could learn how to, cut a paper snowflake. They could make a wreath out of, cardstock and sew it with string, lots of cool things like that. Paint pine cones. The Boy Scouts came and did that with us, and it was a big hit. And we just served cookies and hot cocoa, and everybody had a blast. We listened to Christmas music, and so I'd like to do that here. I'd like to do it. It's I would have preferred to have done this a little earlier, but that's on me. But I'd like to do it on Friday the 16th, and we're already in the school for ASP. So basically we would just kind of, go for an hour after ASP comes to a close around 5-ish on Fridays. So we'd probably run it from about 5:15 to 6:15, 6:30. I do need to get official approval on that, but I don't see it being a problem. And I'd like it to be a free event, just basically, still have people register online, but they can come and just hang out with us and do crafts. And, I'd probably have Tom and the other ASP people work late, and they'd each, run a station and just, hang out and have fun with the kids.
That sounds good to me. Sorry, did you say, were you going to charge for that? Did I miss that?
No, free of charge. Honestly, all the supplies we already have from between camp and between camp and ASP. It's not like we're going out and we're really spending a whole lot more money. The only thing I'll do is buy some cookies and some hot cocoa mix, which we probably need for the senior luncheon anyway. So to me, it's like the perfect kind of free goodwill to the community type of event, because we really are not going to incur much of an expense.
Awesome. I think it sounds wonderful. It's really nice.
I agree.
Cool.
All right. So could we have a motion to run a holiday craft party Friday, December 16th, after ASP at the Kent Center School?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
aye,
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Moving right
Sounds good.
along.
Doing the craft party.
Excellent. Cool.
Uh, swim lessons. Do you want to go with that, Jared? or-
No, why don't you, Julia?
Okay, cool. I know a couple of you couldn't make our last meeting, but we had met with the new athletic director at the Kent School, and he wanted to let us know that they were open to us using some of their other facilities, including their indoor swimming pool. And we all said that we would love to be able to offer swim lessons to kind of the young school age children, and then also had demand from the seniors for aqua size or aqua Zumba, I think it's called. So I actually reached out to a woman I know in the area, Mo Van Mofert, who I believe Kate and Michael know her as well, but she did the CPR training for our camp counselors this summer as well. But she is certified in Zumba aerobics and has a ton of experience giving beginner swim lessons. She actually ran the program out of Chicago for a long time doing that, and gave swim lessons at the Canterbury School as well. And she is available and eager to do both of these programs for Park and Rec. So right now, this is really just a post because we don't know yet what the Kent School would be charging us for the use of the pool yet. We have we think that we're all on the same page that what they do charge us, it needs to be something that then makes it that is not cost prohibitive for the people that we're trying to give the lessons and class to. So I think we really just wanted to let you guys know tonight that we have an instructor, we have a place where we can do it, and we're open to any input from you guys, but we can also post you when we have more details hammered out on it. But I'm really excited about being able to offer swim lessons to young kids that don't know how to yet, just as a safety thing. And I know it's something that people really want and have been having to do a long drive to get access to that.
Yeah, just so you guys know, I have a meeting on Wednesday with the AD over there again, and we're going to start to talk about more of the nitty gritty stuff. So hopefully sometime soon we'll be able to report back. But I did tell Julia today when we were speaking that we did really well with Learn to Skate. And even though I know we were concerned about how much we were going to have to charge for the program, given how much ice time costs, we still were able to not only cover our expense for the ice, also cover the stipend for Lee and Jim, and then have, a little bit of revenue left over as well. So I feel that even if at worst, the pool time were the exact same amount of money as the ice time, which in theory it should be less, but let's say it were the same amount, I do believe that we'll still be able to really make this work. It's not going to be one of our cheapest programs, but at the same time, any aqua program, I think everybody knows those do come at a little bit more of a premium than, an outdoor program or similar. So I think we're well on our way to making this happen. And I don't see it really being something that we won't be able to do in a timely fashion as well, which is great. So.
Yeah, I'd also say I originally met Mo because she's the head lifeguard and beach club manager at Lake Marmot Club. And she's been a lifeguard for a really long time. And she also is a volunteer EMT for Washington. So I think she has so much experience, and I'm psyched because I don't know that we'd be able to find any better to teach kids how to swim in the pool safety wise.
Did you mention that she did the CPR training? I don't know
I did.
Okay.
She did the CPR training for the camp counselors, and
she was great. She was really fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great news. Great news about Mo. I just wanted to chime in. She's awesome. You couldn't find a better person. That's great news.
It is. I'm psyched, and I think that she's eager to work too, and has some availability when it's not the summer So if we're able to also later on figure out a time for lap swimming and stuff like that for adults or open pool time, then she would also be a great person to be our lifeguard for that as well. So that's it for swim lessons, unless anybody has any questions. Nope, Abigail, we see you in the chat. Thank you. All right, Jared, why don't you go ahead with personnel?
Okay. Give me one sec. Where's my agenda? Okay. Yes, so Skylar Fitch, who was a ASP counselor, I guess you'd call him, for the past few years, he got a new job and is unable to keep working for us. So I have someone who is interested in coming on, and I would like to hire him. His name is Shane. Mike's met him. He's helped out at a bunch of events for us. He worked for me previously in Kent, New York, which seems to be what I say about everyone we hire. He worked for me previously in Kent, New York, and he also works for the town of Patterson, which is where my niece and nephew do their sports. So he's a rec assistant over there. And I only have good things to say about him. He's a hard worker. He's good with the kids, and he's interested in coming on board. But what I would like to do is I'd like to request that we hire him, but not as an ASP personnel, but rather just a program aide. And I think I had brought this up with you guys previously. I think we need to move away from hiring our high schoolers and college kids for specific positions, but rather hire them in a general rec aid or program aid position. So that way we have more flexibility with how they're used. If this works out with Shane and he wants to stay on as a counselor, for me to have to come back and be like, oh, can we now hire him as a counselor? And then summer camp's over. Can we hire him again for ASP? Can we change his title? It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And we have so much other stuff going on. If I say, hey, you know, we take that turf blanket off in the spring, that whole infield where the turf blanket was, all the clay is going to be filled with weeds because stuff was growing. So do we need to pay Ed $40 an hour to pull weeds, or can we have a high school kid come and get a little extra work? And so I think we need to start thinking kind of outside the box in that respect. And I'd like that to start with Shane. I'd like to request we hire him as a program aide. And I'd like to request he be hired for at $14 an hour to work in a program aide position, and his hours to be scheduled at mine and Tom's discretion.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I would definitely support hiring Shane.
Thank you, guys.
Would there be any concerns that Ed would be a little upset about losing some revenue?
I don't think Ed will ever, there's so much work. It's not that Ed would be losing revenue. It's that we'd probably just be using his time to focus on things more, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Big
You know what I mean?
ticket. That's what I figured. I
Big
just wanted-
ticket. There we go. Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
figured-
No. There's going to be enough work for Ed to be busy probably for the next decade. So I wouldn't be too worried.
Fair enough.
We'd be giving him the stuff that we most need his expertise in.
Yeah.
What is Shane's last name?
Rivera Ruane.
Abigail had a question in the chat. Is there any way the commission will be able to stay informed of how the program aide's time is being utilized? Perhaps an update.
What do you like, an update as to like what people are being brought in for?
My guess is she probably is just interested in, you know, what kind of hours is he doing under the, you know, what kind of projects?
I sorry, I see Abigail said, well, yes, thanks,
Like,
Blythe.
Blythe had- yeah.
Say that again, Blythe.
Just in terms of which, you know, what kind of hours is he spending on what kinds of projects? So even if at each one of our meetings, you could just kind of say, hey, or maybe there's a written report that says, you know, in the past 2 weeks, he spent 6 hours on this project and he did this for, you know, 3 hours on a Saturday, just some kind of accounting of how he's being used.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly like having to prepare a written report about that. I certainly would, that's not the,
Well,
I don't
like
know.
when I was in my previous life before I was in schools, I had a job where, if I had a timesheet and I kind of had to write down my hours spent doing various things. So if it was, he's got something that he fills out. I don't think it needs to be a report from you, a written report, but maybe just according to his timesheets, we paid him for X number of hours. 7 of those were spent on the ball field, and 12 of them were on, a variety of maintenance things in Emery Park, something like that.
Okay.
I don't know how you would do the accounting for the pay, but if you threw together, or whether the town has a specific timesheet that they use.
Yeah, it's all online.
Okay.
And it's, our budget is set up where hourly, there's just one line for just hourly employees. So it doesn't say for what or what, like it's not attributed to anything. But if you guys
We
are
don't have a
concerned,
breakout of the hourly employees because don't we have like as a, when it's broken out, don't we see what we've spent on ASP and stuff? Like, would we, because I know we budget for that, right?
we budget for it in a loose sense where it's a part of our planning, but it's not a part of what we submit to officially submit for our budget. So for example, we have a program line. It doesn't break out every single activity. It just basically says we are going to spend $15,000 on programs. So if it's the same with personnel, we don't have, it's not broken out by ASP, by summer camp, by whatever else. It's broken out by, it just says hourly employees.
Yeah, I think that we could probably, first I want to say, like, I'm definitely in favor of hiring people as program aides because I think we want to have many people working for us, that if somebody does end up getting another job or gets sick, then we're not having to scramble like we have in years past to quickly hire people. It's good to have consistent people working across our different programs. And it gives us the flexibility of not having to call a special meeting each time we're changing, like having somebody work at summer camp versus supporting the craft fair, stuff like that. Craft event. But maybe just so that we have a general idea of how much we're paying people and employing them quarterly, we could attach in our meeting documents, expenses to date, and that would show what we've paid our hourly employees. And then anecdotally, if people had questions, then we'd be able to answer. Like, I'm sure you'd still know in general what people have been working on, like maybe not down to the exact hour, but you could say like, well, Shane's been working on weeding and stuff like that, and Lizzie's only been doing ASP. Would that kind of work, Abigail? Sorry, you just wrote again.
Yeah, I think because this is a new thing, Jared, just because we haven't done this before, I think it'd be helpful to just to have a look, have that information. Just because it's a new.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
But I fully support it. It makes all the sense in the world. I think it'd be great.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, no doubt. All right.
Does anybody else have any comments before we move to hire Shane?
No, all I was going to say also is it makes sense for if just because of the busy work for Shane to do it at the end of the week, and just like Blythe said, he can just, maybe that would be helpful.
Yeah, I don't see it being an issue. I don't see it being an issue at all. Sorry, hold on a second. Yeah, if you're just talking about something informal, that's not a problem at all.
Yeah, I think it's good just for us to be able to follow how many hours people are working and what's being done.
Yeah, and theoretically, as we, we've been growing the program so much. I mean, getting some data together for a potential, additional hire down the
Yeah.
road, I think is not a bad thing. Is there any thought that the town would want us to post for this job, even though we have a great candidate?
Well, we need to hire someone because we don't have enough staff right now. So that's what the next bullet item was, to advertise for hiring, advertise for program aides. Because I also want to bring on more local people as well. So that's what the second item was for. So we like have to hire someone right now, or we're kind
Or
of,
Tom's by himself with 16 kids.
yeah, exactly. And I can help out, of course,
Yeah.
but it would be good to get someone in there ASAP. And I know Shane can start immediately. And then we go out and advertise for,
And advertise for more.
yeah.
Great.
Okay. Okay, so could we have a motion to hire Shane Rivera Rowan as a program aide at $14 an hour? And his schedule to be determined by Jared and Tom Ford at their discretion.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, great. And then, so if we're gonna advertise for a program aid, I don't think that we need a motion on that. Were you just planning on, for the job description, were you gonna list the various things that they would be doing? Like, how are you planning on advertising?
The same way we always do, whatever the way the town normally does, put it on the website, put it out on Facebook, email, and then it would be a brief job description, just saying assisting with programs, light work in parks and at fields, and special events, and must be available afternoons, evenings, and weekends. And that's probably about it. Keep it brief.
Awesome.
Excuse me.
Before we move on to the final item of commission members, I guess that Diane wasn't able to join in, but I wanted to do a quick plug for Jared. I don't know if, or not plug, but a quick applause for Jared, because I don't know if any of you guys saw the email or the pictures on Facebook, but Jared on his own put together a Thanksgiving Day breakfast for the seniors at the senior center. He had spoken to a couple of them, just generally asking what their Thanksgiving plans were. And when he found out that a lot of them didn't have specific plans for Thanksgiving, he very quickly put together an awesome, fun morning breakfast on Thanksgiving Day. And if you look at the pictures, there were tons of people there, and it looked like a really happy and fun event. And Jared did this all on his own, and they love him over there. And I think that he is enjoying it a lot, but thank you so much. It was a really kind, awesome thing to do. We're lucky.
Yeah,
That is amazing.
Yeah,
That is
that's incredible.
amazing. Here,
Wow.
here.
thanks. Yeah, it went really
Way to
well.
go, Jared.
Everybody seemed to really enjoy it. We had like between participants and volunteers, we had like 30 people came. So it was really cool. And they, like, one of the ladies who I don't think had anywhere to go or anything, she came up to me and she was like, I just want you to know this is the greatest thing and I absolutely love you. And it just like it was totally worth it. Nobody should have to spend the holidays alone, and I wish I could have done a Thanksgiving dinner, but I had my own plans. But breakfast it's good and much easier to cook. So
And if any of you
Probably
guys
started
are
to
free,
trend.
yeah, if any of you guys are free on December 15th, I think it is, that is our next senior lunch. And it's the holiday lunch.
but don't come, because we're already at, I don't
Oh,
even need,
don't
like,
come.
this is like we have already have like 10 volunteers, so I don't even know what
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay,
do.
all right.
I'm
I
already
was gonna
worried
say,
about that,
come check
and the
it
health
out,
inspector's
but-
coming too, so that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
She's coming to do the health inspection while we're doing it. Plus, I expect we're gonna get a ton of seniors. So I would never tell people don't come, but
Okay, well, the next
come in
one,
January. Yeah,
we'll
come in
make sure that
January.
the commission members know to come check it out because
Yeah.
it's really fun, or bingo, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, on to the final item on the agenda. Jared, did they ask you to reach out and reconfirm who was coming back for
Yeah,
next year?
I asked Darlene, I didn't understand, like, I still was a little fuzzy on what Biz's term was. So I
Okay.
asked her about it and she said that basically every year in December, we need to confirm who's coming back, and that basically reappoint. Basically it's a memo to the board saying like, oh, these people want to come back or these people don't or whatever. So sorry, I have the note on my desk, but I'm not at my desk. It tells me
Okay.
exactly what, but I basically need to put together a memo saying, oh, all of these people are going to continue on in their position, or in Biz's case, like, I don't know, there's something special about your term, but everybody else.
I think that it's because she was appointed until, like, for a partial term until January, and then in January she would be, I think, like, it might even be something that goes on that they have to vote on just confirming it. I think
Yeah.
that's what it was for me.
Yeah.
And then she'll have the full term of a
Yeah.
year.
I think everyone else is just kind of informational, except Biz there's some action that will need to be taken. But
Yeah, by the board.
that's, yeah, by the Board of Selectmen. It's just, honestly, from what I've been told, it's all just one big formality. So I just want to basically put together a memo saying X, Y, and Z.
From what I remember, you might just want to double check with the bylaws. We were wrestling with all that stuff as we were doing the bylaw review, just in terms of if there's any particular hoop they want you to jump through. But my guess is if you just maybe mocked up a kind of a letter to the board and then send it around for everybody to kind of sign off on, that would probably be easy enough.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Easy peasy.
Well, I don't want to put anybody on the spot if they wanted to have conversations offline or with myself or Jared, but I hope that everybody is coming back for the next year. We've had awesome progress and it feels like we're really moving ahead and have good momentum. But if anybody wants to confirm tonight or reach out in the next day or two. So
Yeah, hold on one second. I just have to read an email from someone and then I will relay to you.
what they're saying.
Yeah. Okay, it doesn't say that I can't. So Diane is going to be leaving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's why I think she wanted to be here. But I don't know. I'm sure we'll have something more formal, but just basically we still have the two people from the last time that we lost in alternate. So I think, perhaps that's just something to keep in mind if we want to just contact Brian and Mary Ellen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, just something to think about. But yeah, she did email me earlier in response, said that she has some other exciting opportunities for volunteerism and she wants to take advantage of them, which I think is really respectable.
Awesome.
sure.
Well, we'll be
Yeah.
sad to see her go, but that's great if she has other opportunities.
Yeah. So, and then so I don't know, like I gotta find out from Darlene how that works with Diane leaving. Like, is this something that they need for that meeting, or do we have to wait until she's officially resigned or whatnot? I don't really know, but I'll figure that all out and I'll just loop Julia in once I know
Okay.
more. Yeah. So
Okay, great.
otherwise, I'm assuming it's everybody else, and if not, they'll reach out.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay, awesome. Well, we have our public bid opening for the playground on Friday, and hopefully we have some great actionable stuff following that. But happy holidays, everybody. And unless anybody has anything else, oh, thank you, Abigail. We'll make sure that that's shared with Diane. She has been wonderful. I'm going to adjourn this meeting at 7:39 p.m.
Well, so before, I mean, even though it's adjourned, doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
We're supposed to have a meeting, I think, scheduled for the 19th.
Oh, I'm actually out of town.
I was
that
gonna
night.
say, I'm
Yeah.
probably not gonna be able to make that. That week is usually, I'm sure, pretty hectic and for everyone. So is this just gonna be our last meeting of the year, or do we? I don't really think anything pressing is really gonna come up. And with regarding Diane's spot, it's nothing we can't handle in the new year.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's right. I think everybody will be deep into the holidays
Yeah.
and family and vacation time.
Absolutely. All right. Just
All right,
wanted to
great.
confirm that so I can just let Darlene know now, like, hey, we're gonna cancel the meeting. And yeah. So
Awesome.
cool.
Thank you for
Wanna say
doing
us-
the minutes, Biz.
I'm sure I am sad that Diane's leaving. I just want to say that out loud to everybody. She has been so great.
Yep.
And so engaged and such an important part of this group, and I'm sorry to see her go. I just wanted to say that.
I agree.
I second that, definitely.
She's been an extremely positive, hard worker.
No doubt.
All right. Well, have a great night, everybody. Happy holidays.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
Good
Bye.
night.
Hanukkah,
Thanks,
Happy New
everybody.
Year.
Thanks for everything, Jared.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you
And
guys for
Julia.
everything.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye.